in my life. Pension piri India kanshi madam.
Was it this like youngster that was caught stealing
Yes,
onions?
yes.
Eh,
Boy,
I don't know what that man
guys,
can tell us told about the police.
boy. I've never in my life seen a youngster with that level of maturity. First of all, madam, pension piri kanshi India. How director police?
Oh man.
The youngster is a genius, man. The youngster is a proper genius. Hello, there's no convincing him otherwise. Exe, you've been nabbed with onions in your hand. Madam!
oh, that one bit, he's doing it like an adult, bro.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like the level of maturity in his reasoning is not like a youngster. He's, he's not an easy cop out. Exe, okay, can she? Let me water your garden. Sat. We've got someone to water the garden. Okay. Okay. Exe, okay, let me chow chili. But Exe, you're thinking you're not the one. It's a strong cop out. Welcome to Shock the Clock podcast with your boy Jazzy Jess. I got Magnifaya. I got Lumba. And we got a special guest in the house tonight.
Hey.
Tonight morning. Oh, it's not yet morning. Yeah, we got a special guest. We got Nigel.
Yo, what up?
What it do, what it does, cuz. How's it going? How's Kitwe, boy?
I'm not in Kitwe, man. You should do
You're not
this.
in Kitwe? Oh, you're in
I'm in
Chingola.
Chingola. This nigga.
Oh, yeah. Actually, how's it going there?
Nah, man, it's cold. And there's a shit ton of COVID.
Yeah, I hear. Well, so that means Chingola is probably like ranking somewhere around third right now because Kitwe is second.
This place is a hotspot.
Chingola is a hotspot. For real?
Dude, I'm recovering from COVID.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, but that also because like we haven't heard too many cases coming from Chingola. I think we haven't gotten like.
I don't.
The news
Yeah,
is
nah.
not
But I've
necessarily-
had a bunch of people who I know die. So
Eesh.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been that time. Those have mainly been the stories all around. But Lusaka has also just been a hot mess.
Is it as bad?
Yeah, worse. It's been the worst actually.
Yeah.
It's been the worst. I think everyone here has at least been burying someone every week or every other week.
Yeah, it's been like that.
You've been feeling my one to get phone calls, man. You're like, who has begged now? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
So yeah, traumatic stuff. Bro.
Welcome, sir.
It's good to be here.
Guys, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
man.
But soon, like beyond everything, like with recovery and everything.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
No, I was just saying that like you should get well soon, man. Because
I'm a lot better. I was in the gym today, killing it.
oh, at least.
Yeah. The breathing's still rough when I have to walk long distances, but outside that, nah, I'm proper.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I thought you being a gym junkie, like it was going to be one of those.
I was thinking that too. I was like, nah, man,
Yeah.
be fit. Nothing.
Yeah.
This
Nothing,
Delta
eh?
version has done push-ups.
For real, eh?
Yeah, and I pretty much went through the entire list of symptoms. Everything on there I had. Not at the same time, but one at a time.
Bruh.
So
bro.
like no taste. The other day, just
No. What happened was I caught a fever first, and I was thinking, this is probably the flu. So I grabbed some cold medication, and I think that probably just sorted out the symptoms. So for the first week, I felt like a flu, like a really bad flu, but I was okay. and then the fever went away, and then just mad pain, like couldn't get out of bed pain. And then after that, I'm like, I should probably jump on some medication. I should probably sort this out. So I get my
Yeah.
medication, and then this is now day 9 or something. No smell, no taste. I could have been drinking spirit and not known. It was that bad.
Shit.
And then this is what, the third week. I'm only getting my smell back now. Taste has kind of been back, but smell, I don't know. If the house was on fire, I wouldn't know. It's pretty bad. But for
Damn.
me, the worst thing was the pain. All the other
Yeah.
symptoms, yeah, but the pain,
And
especially because of gym,
that's
I
in the
think in the
chest.
joints, because of
Ah,
all
and the
the
joints.
working out and everything, my joints were just like, oh, you think you're Superman? Nah, feel everything now.
Damn, bro. That must have been mad.
Yeah,
I
No,
think
but
I
but
it's
I'm okay now.
I think I'm probably the only person on the list of people that like have tested for COVID that like I know that just had like a walkover with the whole situation. Cause for me it was I still think that it was just like a mistake. Because what happened was my mom and I went to the plot and we went to check on progress and whatnot. And since like I like have zero confidence to like drive on the road, I ended up driving, like us were bush drivers, let's say. Put us on a dirt road and we flex, but like on a proper road it's wild. So started trying
Bro,
to
you have
drive.
driver's anxiety or something, bro?
Come again?
You have driver's anxiety or something?
Yeah, for some weird reason, but it's like the source of the anxiety is because like my eyesight, like I'm not really confident in my eyesight.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I can relate. I can relate with that. I have photophobia or something like that. My eyesight is
Ah,
trash in the light, especially with glare. So if I'm driving and the sun hits the shield at a certain angle, I can't see shit.
yeah.
Oh,
I
if
feel
this
you.
was a whip, I would be the only one driving.
Pretty
Right
much,
now.
man.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep.
But I can
Yep.
drive with shades. There is that. I can drive with
Hmm.
shades.
But at
Nice.
night,
Yeah.
what's the deal?
No, at night I'm fine. It's just the glare. I can't
Ah,
see with
okay.
any sort of
Mm.
glare. That's why the brightness
Mm.
on my phone is always turned all the way up.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
uh, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lulu, you were saying?
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, so like I was trying to drive and like I just like all the windows were closed because like we closed the windows because like we're trying to avoid like dust entering the car. And I started feeling like I was being suffocated. And the thing is, you can't just stop because there's a truck behind you and there's a truck in front of you. So it's
Mm.
like I just had to like hold on because then you can't open the windows because there's kids in the back.
Yeah.
Um, and I was just struggling to breathe. Then,
You became
uh,
claustrophobic.
yeah,
Mm.
man, it was I was dizzy, I felt weak, but I had to like be strong until we got to like a point where I could exchange seats with my uncle, and I was just like, no man, like I can't do this. I'm not feeling too fit right now. We switched seats. He continued driving, and the entire time I was just dizzy. I just felt weak. I couldn't even like walk. I was like, "Oh no, let's go monitor that side." And I'm just like, boss, like I just
Wired.
feel it. But I just kept on trying. I'm like, it's probably nothing. Got home and I was just feeling cold, and you've been moving up and down. It's a like relatively hot day, and I'm feeling like like really cold.
That
Start
sounds
putting
familiar.
yeah. So I was just like, say take a hot bath, then just wear all the jumpers. At night it got like way worse. Say I got even the other blankets that were like that were supposed to like be exchanged for the ones that I was using when the ones I was using were washed. Had everything on me, bro, but like I was still feeling cold. Um, then it just got mad. So my mom was like, say it's wild here. At some point I started struggling to breathe. You know what? You can feel the air by your nose. but like it's not dying.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like So my mom was like, so let's chuck up like a quick steam, and then we'll see if we can go do a test tomorrow in the morning. So then I came out positive, but weirdly, I didn't even take like any medication, like besides the steam and the what's Zecromethin, whatever, sin, whatever it is. Yeah, that one. Like aside from that, like I didn't even take like a food like a full course. It was just like that one day, like, oh no, take this now, then you take this tomorrow, shan shan shan. I just took it that one time, and I all of a sudden started feeling better. Like by Monday, I was even able to like work and function proper. Like all the symptoms were like pretty much gone. That's why I like just.
I feel like a traditional steam method has really helped a lot of
that's
especially for us in Africa, boy.
I had days where if I didn't steam, like I'm not getting out of bed.
Yeah.
I was steaming like twice a day. That's pretty much what's gotten me through this. Because even the medication, until I was switched, until they put me on asthma medication, it's the steaming that was getting me through the day.
For real, eh?
Of course, you know I'm stubborn.
Like,
every day.
For a lot of us, even just like your general hot showers and whatnot, as long as you take it like there's that hot shower with the steam all the way up, where you come out looking like you are trying to direct a Kama Hype Williams
with the music.
I was checking out that same Young Ma interview for directing that
Young Ma,
Who's Young Ma? Can somebody talk to this old
Young Ma?
These old ass niggas.
I
can't even pronounce Young Thug's name right, niggas.
Young T-Hug.
Young T-Hug.
I know Young T-Hug. No, I was checking out the same item where they were talking about her directing pornos and whatnot.
Did she?
She did.
Is there a particular genre she was directing? Just
it was lesbian porn.
Oh, okay.
Niggas want to be genre specific. Porn is porn.
Hey, he needs to know. He needs to know what he's looking for.
What is a style?
The friend that needs to know.
But I try and fire.
Nati, what is her niche? What is her style? What's her cinematography? You know?
What was the plot? Just going here. What was the plot?
Yeah, we did enough of the pizza guy.
What was the plot of the entire thing?
There was no pizza guy. Fire. Stick with the theme. It's all chick.
But hello, how old is that Guza now? She looks young.
Real quick.
Let me
do a quick Google.
Yeah, do a quick Google. This thing that reminded me of the first time I actually watched my first novel. I was like 11.
She's 29. Jesse, what were you doing at 11? What were you going through? What is this?
Yeah, bro. That's a good question. I was gonna ask the same thing.
Bro, it was
that's when you stumble upon. It's not even intentional, bro.
No. But this one, it wasn't intentional, but it was one of those situations where you're with the homies, and Kanshi, the homies have made a plan to check it out.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And it's always those friends who've got like a big bro or something, so he's gotten like a tape and whatnot. So you are just chilling with the ons. You don't even know. You don't know that you are in a plan.
That you reminded me of a story, but finish first.
You don't even know that you are in a plan, Exe. So you're there cheating. Exe says, let's go. Oh, let's go. Arrange to eat that guy. Guy, let's go. And we're like, how many? We're like 6 of us, I think. Going to the own's room, whatnot, chilling. We never chill in the crib. I'm wondering why today We want to play from
Nah, it's a
inside.
special day today.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
So you
I
become a man.
say, bro, and this is how I know I was so underexposed. Like, you know, all this time what we've been exposed to is kissing and whatnot. So that's all that's in your mind.
Mm.
That
Mm.
all that happens between a man and a woman is the lips meet. That's as extreme,
Mm.
and that's the most that will get you a boner. You know what I mean? On this
Mm.
particular day, these
How
dudes
you
throw
reached
in,
in life? The deep
they,
end.
you know what I mean? They pop in the videotape, and it was one of those, one of those scenarios where like
Bro,
there's
what
actually porn being
just
directed
happened?
in the porno. There's actually porn being directed in the
Yeah.
porno, and then there's a chick watching the porn being directed, and then she's fingering herself while she's watching that. So they're showing the scene from under her skirt, and I'm so, it's such unfamiliar territory to me that I'm not even sure what's going on.
Oh, lost
You know,
Lumba there.
yeah,
Lumba's gone.
he'll be back. So like I'm looking at this, and for the first, if I remember well, for the first whole, I think 3 minutes, I don't even know what's going on here. He's back. You know what I mean? So they're showing this scene of, and these are white folk first of all. So I think the unfamiliarity is at an all-time high. I can't even relate with these people.
Yeah.
And this woman is going in, and my niggas are watching this intensely. I'm just like, what the heck are we looking at,
Mm.
bruh? Like, what time does the cartoon start? You know what I mean? Whenever we're gang, and then all of a sudden, all of a
Sardin,
sudden,
bro. DSTV accent.
you
yeah,
idiot.
yeah.
Oh,
Sardin because I hardened. Yeah, all
Mm.
of a sudden, like, say your body just betrays you. It's like, yeah, nigga, you know what's going on here.
Ah,
Mm.
shame.
Just get that carbona. You're just like, oh shit. I think I know what this is. I think I like this one. So I was like 11, bro. I've never forgotten that. Borrowed the camera videotape that same
Man,
day.
Say
damn.
now the story say Fidatama guys pretty much the same scenario. Yeah, your boys
Mm.
cabin, other boys there. We got 4. Now there was a on mode. Walk church wash baka.
I think I like the story.
The ones
But
popping the tape. The one popping the tape. Ireamba boy. Close up bakamba. Ojifye. So the church on was like, Ons, this is what you want to start watching. Then my boy was like, if you want to bounce, say. Boys, bed boy. And it was like a big cabin. So he leaves the bedroom, walks all the way through the corridor and the living room, gets out the front door, he just reaches the gate. Then we look outside the window. The on his baguette. He's not going except. He runs back. We laugh at him and say, he's like, Ons, anyway, you want to making me backslide in my faith, huh?
how old were you though? How old were you though?
Kids, man, 12, 13. I think I was 12, man. That was 7th grade, I think.
Damn.
Yeah. A couple of the dudes were in grade 9, older than me.
Yeah.
Did you watch did you watch porn like consistently after, or it took a while for you to like watch it
there was no
consistently?
access.
The generations are different, eh?
The generation, they say shit is accessible. Shit wasn't accessible back then. And porn on videotapes was like contraband. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit. So you had to know someone that knew someone. I knew a dude who used to have a supply in Soweto Market. The on used to have enough porn DVDs. Enough. But now, it's a
Lumba, you know what we used to do? Nigel, you tell me if you ever did this one. I know Fire, you probably experienced this one. What we
Yeah,
would
go
do
on.
is we would take, because we used to use videotapes, right? The ones
Mm.
that you pop in the VCR. So what you
Already
would do
with this
is,
VHS thing, I can't relate. But go on.
oh no, sometimes I forget Nigel is. I forget Nigel is he's we're in the same generation block, but he's in the bottom half of our generation block. Anyway, you get the video tape, and then the first half of it you record Shira, He-Man, the Muppets, and the Muppets.
Oh, soccer,
For like
soccer.
just like a good 20. You, you make sure that's in there for like a good 20 minutes, just a few episodes scattered here and there and there. And then after that, like when you then maybe even record like a bit of Lima time on using local languages, just so it gets a bit boring. And then after that, then now the real
Time,
papi starts. Boy, Lima time. Or if not, you record The Wise and the Wherefores. All those boring shows, right, Shubaka? So by that time, whoever is going to find that tape, they'll click off. By then, they'll take it out. Yeah, just like I know that tape. I know that. So you see, there's that period, right, where internet was not crazy accessible. So for you, Nigel, is it that you came and started discovering it around the time when, like, okay, now .com was actually becoming a thing, seeing as you never experienced the videotape phenomenon?
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't grow up around older siblings who were doing that or older cousins. No, there was a
You
no. But
were the older
when I
sibling.
when I first got exposed to this, I think what happened was I went for a birthday party. It was a sleepover, definitely a sleepover, and
Watching porn in groups. That's disgusting. Anyway, continue.
Oh,
so I remember it was a guys and girls sleepover, so we were cool. Cool kid. So I'm at a sleepover and I remember three guys are like, yo man, we're going to sleep. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like 23, man. No one sleeps at a sleepover. Nah man, we're going to sleep. Are you coming? I'm like, what? It's like, nah man, we're going to sleep. Let's go. So I'm like, look, I'm not going to sleep, but I know these guys are playing console in the room. So I'm gonna play a couple games and then probably just join everyone else. So I get to the room.
What type of console, bro?
No, this should have been Xbox 360. But that's
This
not the
should tell
point
you
of the
about the
story.
generation difference. Yeah.
So we get to the room and this guy pulls out his laptop and I'm like, and the moment he flips the screen open, it flips to a scene, and I remembered the scene and I remember the title of the video.
Well,
Fine, you
Yo,
can go check. You can go.
what was the title?
It was a Pirates of the Caribbean remake. Man, I don't remember the full title. I just know it was Pirates of the Caribbean something something something.
That's some recent ass porn you watched, bro.
Hey, what can I say? I
Well,
was
that
a
was
good kid.
well. That's mad. But like, here's the funny thing, though. I find it funny that all of us like the first time that we were like exposed to porn was like a group thing because for me it wasn't even guys. It was like two of my female cousins. Yeah, it was two of my female cousins, um, three of her friends. Well, there was like one other guy, but like yeah. Like they found porn and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we found porn." And I'm like,
why are you saying it like they discovered gold? We have found gold. Where did they
no,
find it?
because they did that. They were like, because here's
Like
the
they
thing,
found it
they
on the
went,
ground.
because here's the thing, they went up to like my other male cousin, right? They were like, ah, Shad, we found porn. So like they told him to convince me, like, oh no, Shad, let's go watch the stuff. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, but
So
where did they find it?
they found it on, so like it was on a farm. That's where we were. In
Oh,
I don't
on
know.
the
I
farm.
can't say the no. not really. I wasn't born on a farm. I can't say the name of the place because like this person listens to my listens to this podcast because like yeah. So,
No, but
but
what I
you know
meant by where did
yourself.
they
No
find it?
mentions. Just get with the
Nah,
story.
nah. But like I'm
What
gonna
I
tell you. So they found the porn on one of like the workers' phones. So like
okay.
one of the workers, yeah. So one of the workers had like you know that thing. It's a farm setup, so there isn't like electricity that's like widely accessible. So like you have
Yeah,
these workers come and bring their phones, like, yo, could you charge this for me? Yo, could you charge this for me? Because we were like
yeah.
the ones who had like electricity, but it was like a solar panel type arrangement. Um, so they would phone and be like, "Yo, charge this for me." So if you're listening, nigga, you know it's you, okay? So,
Right.
uh, so she's like, so she goes. I don't know why she had this habit, but she had like this habit of like going through like the workers' phones. So on one of the workers' phones, she found like a lot of porn, like a lot of it. And bruh, like she like we all watched it, bro, and I'm just ish, man. Here's the thing, the weird
Enjoying.
part is that it wasn't like a bunch of guys, right? It was just like me and one other guy and a bunch of girls. And that was like the weird part because I'm just like, dang, that looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
For real. And like like I couldn't move because I
But
know like
is your mind
Except
registering that the chick next to you has got what you are watching?
that's the thing though. That's like the thing that made it like even more weird because I'm just but like the thing was that like I'm seated next to my cousin though.
Oh yeah, it's
oh
your
shit.
cousin. Snap.
But yeah, but like her friends were there, but like they were not like next to me. It was like my cousins were like the ones who were next to me. Her friends were like a little bit like a distance, but I was just like, yo, we could like
Yeah.
create this, bro. What
Tamula
is
and the
this?
best
Yeah.
time. That's it.
Wow, wait.
That's that's always like that car. That my fantasies that you actually die with. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
especially
Like I
around
still,
Just,
girls.
but the thing is,
what
I
kind of life
failed
you
to
live?
find that video up until now. I searched for that video, man. I gotta go
Nigel,
extend that.
this guy.
I,
I'll
I
tell you
searched
right.
So
for it.
nostalgic.
I'll tell you right now. Every video, like every video that I watched when I was younger, as an adult, you just find it. Eh?
You
Like,
do.
there's one, the one I know. I remember it. She was wearing a purple thing, and she
Oh
was
man.
screaming like I don't know. Mans was wearing his Tim boots. I can't find it, bro. I
We have
can't
we have
find it, bro.
we, we have to launch an inquest for Lumba.
The porn is
What are
I've
you
moving.
doing?
never
I'm doing
known.
it for my friend. I'm doing
It's
it
a
for
I've
who
my
else
never
friend.
known peace. I have never known peace since since failing to find that video, bro. My mental health.
I don't know. I don't know about
porn
you
is
guys, but I'm typing Pirates of the Caribbean.
Bro.
ah
Uh,
We found
Hey, Petty, you forward to Nigel. Nigel, is this the one? Just checking for you, bro. Just it's
oh,
all
I
about
know.
you,
You don't
man.
have to. You don't have to tell me.
you know, the acting
But
is usually bad, they say. Hi. Yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like for me, that was like a vintage. You know those vintage underwear up there. What do you call these hip sockets type
Oh,
type
too much
videos.
video.
Yeah, those really old videos. So it's like where the white person almost looks a bit Indian.
mm,
Oh,
mm.
It's that old. You know what I mean? It's like super vintage. So, but
oh.
I mean, I find it super interesting. Like the generation the generation blogs. Have you checked out how for us it was like actual VCR, and I actually had Playboy magazines, and that was like the scariest shit for me because I had a thing in the backyard, Kuseban's quarter, where I had put videotapes and my Playboy magazine and the Chima dagger that I had stolen. Like there's this she knife hunting. I kept it like all in the back in like some cheap box hidden like this. Then one day I just found everything disappeared. Poof.
Don't ask.
Someone got your stash, bro.
Boy,
No one
I
told you
never
about
slept. Huh?
the beating ever come.
No. So I knew it was definitely not the folks. The day the folks found that was another ass whooping. That's another story for another podcast. Emory is laughing because very familiar with this story. But this particular one, it's one of those things like where when such things disappear, right? It's definitely not the folks because you know where you put it and what. This is definitely not the folks. So it's either like a garden boy or like one of these people who comes into the yard or something. But it just gives you anxiety as a kid. Like, snap, where's my stuff? Where could it be? You know what I mean? It just gives you some anxiety that a kid is not. A 12-year-old kid is not supposed to have that. So first of all, a 12-year-old kid is not supposed to be stashing porn in the backyard. So
Thank you.
yeah, let's get that clear. But at the same time, man, like I'm just looking at the progression of how we've done this, and then your generation has done that, and then there's this generation that's done this, and I'm thinking like at this point, it's like super accessible for these youngsters, right? Like,
Yeah, but this
it's not.
generation's on something else, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and
Kids as
that's
young
why.
as ish.
Yeah,
Especially with this OnlyFans thing.
Fourth
yeah.
graders.
There's even OnlyFans now. Is this OnlyFans thing working in Z? Eh?
There's some chick. I'm not gonna say who, but there was a chick who I think she had a room in CBU where she'd do her own shows and stuff.
Oh,
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, she was making money off that.
ish. So
Huh.
I don't. Who can break this one down for me? What is OnlyFans?
Like, how
Except
does it
only
work?
Yeah, like how
OnlyFans.
does it work?
Boy. It doesn't have to be porn. It can
Okay.
be any sort of entertainment, but you're allowing people into your world that document.
Just to see you take off your
Yeah,
clothes.
thing. Yeah.
Not
If you're
really take off clothes. It doesn't have to be that.
No, it doesn't have to be. I think it's more
Uh,
of
yeah,
artists, celebrities selling maybe more access to their personal life.
Yeah.
ah,
like we can have an OnlyFans where we're just podcasting and talking shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But
ah.
for that.
But then like ideally the content that like flies like
That
properly
sells
there
is
is
more
more
sexy.
pornographic, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's this chick who made and I you dead ass can't make this shit up, bro. She made a brand of water that she was selling. Like she would like fill her tub with water and
Oh wow.
then bath in it and whatnot. And she would bottle that
Okay.
up and sell it off to people. And it like was selling, bro. Like this was
Are you
like an
serious?
exclusive water brand. Yeah, exclusive
Yeah,
water.
but you see, that's
Shit, bro.
not unheard of because I
Let me
mean,
search
there's
for it and then like I'll
yeah,
send you the link.
who buy people's urine.
That's some simp
What?
shit. Oh my god,
Wait,
bro.
wait, wait. What? Sorry.
Nah,
When we
if you
talk
sell
together,
it.
I think it gets a bit jumbled. So I missed what Nigel said, and then I just heard urine.
Oh no, I mean, you know how people get on the internet. It's a community of weirdos basically. So there's dudes who just buy people's urine.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you take a video of yourself peeing, you ship it, sends you your $500 or whatever it is you're charging him.
You
Yeah.
Hey,
see,
man.
that's
So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
that's that's the wealth we talk about. In America, boy, for you to spend $500 on someone's pee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Also, like,
Mm.
what do they do with the urine? Because, like, I mean, I got a few
yo, dude,
gallons.
shower, people drink it. Sometimes, okay, the one I heard of is this chick. She basically just sells niche things. So maybe a dude would request her to wear a pair of underwear or whatever he wants. She wears it, takes a video, and sends it to him. And then, I didn't care to find out what he did with it, but pretty much just catering to unique.
You see, and that's why I say when you have no direction for your life, like like you don't really know anything as far as like purpose is concerned, as far as just like general direction is concerned. When wealth comes, that's what happens. It's like it will feed into either the best, but usually the worst of your urges. You know what I mean?
But what's really messed up is these are average people. This is not some millionaire. This is a guy.
Yeah, these are not millionaires. But now imagine that's the reason why things like those eyes wide shut parties and those pedophile rings or those islands where like they've taken like a bunch of kids and they believe in
who you're talking about
Epstein type shit. That's what happens when these guys who can buy urine for $500 become billionaires.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's really sad.
Unfortunately,
but the thing is, you can go to viral with OnlyFans in Zambia because of the laws. So it has to be very low key. It has to be very low key.
Yeah, it's wild. I've always asked this, like, what's the when it comes to like importing dildos? I think I asked this. I'm not sure if it's here, Lumba, around like importing sex toys and whatnot.
I think that was like a one-on-one conversation we had.
No, isn't it down to the shipping? I mean, if no one knows what's inside.
Like, do they allow? Huh? Because they scan that stuff when it enters in it.
Do they check for it? I don't think they do, because otherwise, think about it this way: how many phones have come through the country, and the box still has like the seals on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Ideally,
But if it's going through a scanner and you see a dick,
I don't think they check, man. Plus, most of these companies do that what you call it, privacy the shipping, where you can't tell what's inside.
Oh yeah. So if you use like a DHL
thing, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if you use like a DHL or something.
But like, there's people who have them like in the country, like like they sell them. How did those get here?
Okay, I think maybe that's why, like, maybe these general ones might not be that wild. Like these
No, actually, I actually know how. I didn't remember this. It comes in through the shipping ports. It's way easier to get it through the ports.
Okay.
Yeah.
But but the thing that we can all acknowledge is not going to come in is the sex doll.
No, definitely coming in. What?
Are you serious?
That port is porous.
Serious?
Yeah. As long as you have the paperwork and you know who to talk to nicely, or if it's just if the paperwork is sorted properly, I mean, why shouldn't they let it in?
But anyway, at the end of the day, it's money. At the end of the day, it's just money. It's money that speaks, bro.
If you have money to buy a sex doll, you have money to talk to people.
Yeah.
Ideally.
What if you're an awkward one? You just can't get through a conversation.
You can pay people to have the conversations for you.
That's even weirder than the sex doll.
You just have an awkward one. You can pay people to have conversations for you. Well,
because then that's not real.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. People who pay to have like conversations on their behalf. Isn't that a thing?
I mean, I've heard of it, but
wait.
Okay, which one is sadder?
What are you guys saying? Are you saying people who pay someone to talk
basically
to, like,
just pay for company?
Yeah, that's a
pay
thing.
For the conversation.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. Even here, Lumba, you remember we found one of those services some years back.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, like they charge for like proper dialogue. And you could tell from the way the person was speaking, like they're actually very witty. Like
Yeah,
this is like you can tell that, oh, this person is actually able to adjust, whether
yeah,
it's like
Mm-hmm.
high caliber
like
person or like a low tier person. Like they're
yeah,
able
like
to
they
adjust.
can, and mainly what they offer is just company.
Yeah.
Like
And
that's
there's
their
no
service.
And
premium service.
Pardon?
There's no premium
premium
service.
person.
No, these are more in line. No, these are more in line with like stripper services, and you know those they
Like
try
an
their best.
escort.
Yes, they try their best to avoid being throwing it all the way towards sex. So they'll say, no, we don't do sex, we don't do that, we don't do that. Now in a stripper, we can strip, we can dance, we can do this and that, and we can. So these are actually there. But like I said, it's money that speaks. I feel even in this situation, you're not yet you're telling me you, and this is just my thinking, that
Mm-hmm.
these ladies have just drawn the line at, I'll be your escort and I'll offer you company, and I'll go and you're a stranger, but I'll spend the whole night with you and we'll do nothing but talk. And meanwhile you're like, okay, um I've got 20K, uh, or I've got 50K, we can fly to SA, and nothing happens. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I think even in such situations, there's a price that that will get them to open up. And
Yeah.
you know, there, there,
I'm trying to find the survey that I read some time back. It's like a survey and down of the of Australian culture. There was a year 2018, I think it was, but I can't find it. 2018, 2019, where they did a survey of the percentage of men who went to brothels to pay for sex versus paying for conversation. And
I saw that.
the results, yeah,
I
the
saw that.
results ended up showing, yeah, 70% of men were paying not to have sex with the women, just to
Mhm.
talk to them.
Just paying
And
for the
all of these
conversation.
men,
Wow.
yeah, and most of these men had wives,
Yeah,
which was the
yeah,
funniest. Like out
yeah.
of the
Yo.
70%, um, only 20 to 30% were like single, just looking for dialogue. The rest were married.
Wow. That's saying
you
Yeah,
something
see,
though.
that's mad.
The thing is, say, as you enter your 40s, bro, and your 50s, it becomes less about sex, bruh. You
Mm,
just want your masculinity to be appreciated.
I
but
facts.
you know
tell you,
what's
and
funny
that's a
about
real
that?
thing.
You know what's funny about that? It
Mm,
works. It's like parallel lines crossing. Hey, for the women, they are headed more towards their sexual peak, while you are headed more towards your emotional peak. You know what
that's
I mean?
funny, actually. Yeah, that's ironic. Funny, ironic,
Yeah.
whichever.
So it's so while you want to have a conversation with her, she's like, yeah, but fuck me. You know?
Yeah, and that's where the clashes start, eh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ideally, yeah.
But I wanted to say something on something Fire said just before. He was talking about what did you say just before Jesse jumped in, Fire?
I was like, bruh, you just want this woman to appreciate your masculinity,
Yeah.
you
Ah,
know?
yeah.
Now, have
Yeah,
you checked
and you
with
find
this?
your wife not responding, so some prostitute will give it to you, you know?
Now, what I noticed is with this feminine movement that's happening,
Mhm.
men's masculinity is getting stepped on mad. So you
Ding, ding,
find
ding,
guys,
ding, 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 ding.
you see what I mean? You find guys having a
Yeah.
hard time, you know,
Mhm.
being themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that
Keep going.
cancel culture is coming in.
Shows. Yeah.
It's I think we're living in a very, very, very delicate age because it's a situation where a lot of people are very social media centric. Ish, my God, adding centric just makes you sound like, because of the age of social media that we have, there's this sort of cockiness that's come with a lot of people where they want to justify a lot of stupidity and wrongdoings, because you notice that, like, someone like, for instance, how a toxic trait is considered a genuine personality trait in the modern
Yeah.
era. A
The
lot of
dickhead.
bruh, and a lot of young women are just patrolling with that, like, yeah, this is who I am. Take me for who I am. No,
Yeah.
Exactly.
bro, you're a
Oh,
douchebag. That's being
dickhead,
an
man.
Or even
asshole.
like
That
the extreme of that, like just to quickly jump in, I was checking out
mm,
the new Rory and Mal episode podcast, right? The new episode, and
mm,
it's for them. They are focused. They began with the discussion around these chicks who use their star signs as an excuse for bad behavior.
Right?
So it's
And I
like,
was just
mm,
about to touch
oh,
on that.
yeah, it's like,
mm,
Like, no,
oh,
I'm a Cancer. I'm like,
I'm a Cancer,
mm.
therefore, you know what I mean? And so it's like but you've got a genuine problem that you need to fix, maybe through therapy, maybe through, you know what I mean?
Facts.
But you need to identify when you actually have a problem that needs to be fixed. But it's become easier to push it onto a star sign. Oh, I understand why you don't get me. It's because you're a Capricorn. And it says right here that Taurus and Capricorn today are not going to get along. And they're, you know what I mean?
and
Right? So,
this
yeah,
particular
And
one is close to home for me
it's
because
in
I
line
have
with what you're saying. It's in
and
line
I
with
have
what you're saying.
who
yeah,
has
no, you
a
were saying.
really messed up attitude time to time. And she's just like,
Mm,
nah, I'm not gonna apologize because, I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, no, dude, you have to apologize. Like, nah, man, my star sign
Yes.
says, and it makes sense because sometimes I'm this and I'm like, dude.
Kukeko fyati mwana you are the cancer. Waishwaka.
You are cancer.
Urefu
no, man. And
No,
No,
for real.
she hit me with one of those, no, your star sign is just judgmental. And I'm like, you know what? Clearly, this is when I'm not winning.
You know
I
what's
think,
funny?
uh,
In life, there's the
mm,
basic things that I've always said, like, if you can't just do these, you have to reevaluate where you're at with everything. If you can't
mm,
say, I am sorry, thank you, please,
Mm.
these are like the three fundamentals, the three most
mm,
basic. I'm sorry, thank you,
that
please.
deserves its own image quote, bro. That's hang it up
This,
on your cranium. That should
I'm
become a flag
telling
for
you,
a country.
what
That's
if your star
word.
sign doesn't allow you to say these three, respectfully, you can fuck off. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
you're not you're not doing the human thing if you can't
Yeah.
offer any
Hello, those
if you
are
can't
basic
offer people any
good manners. Basic good manners, boy. That we were taught.
basic boy for
mm,
humanity. For
Yeah.
mm,
humanity. Why Shubaka? Any
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
conflict in the world, people people out there looting and scrapping. Some of them all they want to hear is I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Facts.
Why
Yeah.
Shubaka? Thank
Mm,
Yeah.
you. Please, please stop. Please stop. Now you find that people in positions who can say, please stop, who are too proud to say please.
that's
Yeah.
Why
true. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
world war ensues. So that's the thing. Say like
Sanakambe, please. Yeah, let's bomb
Yeah,
them.
it's an account. Yeah,
boy,
man.
boy. There was one time this one that Emory is saying. There was one time I was walking through um that Mtendere, and you know
Mhm.
how crowded that joint is. It was back, they say, some years back. So I'm walking, and then I bumped into this guy. You know these caponias, these rough ones. So I bumped
Mm.
into him. My foot bumped into him, and I continued walking. And then this is like rough dude. Then I just heard him shouting, "Hey, Jimdala Vindevo, Shan is Patadek say." So I just brushed it off. Then I don't know, for some strange reason it got to me, and I turned around and I looked at him. I was like, "You, banana Dave." And it was like, "Wamene Jimdala wani diaka." Then I was like, "Ero number." Then I said, this rough on shouted Exe with his giraffe voice. Suna kambe sorry.
I remember this story.
Exe, this
But
gangster Exe.
biggest thug in
This
the world just wants you to apologize.
boy, this thug Exe just wanted me to say sorry. Aishwaka, and this was years back, and even me, Exe, my pride was just like, Tioko boy. I also couldn't just apologize, you know what I mean? But that's basic humanity. I owed the dude an apology, you know what I mean? And It doesn't matter, like, say how gangster. Doesn't matter if you're Hezbollah, Kumiduist, Aishbaka,
Or Sinaloa cartel to
or
Mexico.
Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. I mean, they will chop
Word.
off your fingers anyway. But what they really just want is what a human being just wants is that basic courtesy that will appeal to their emotional sense. Like the emotional man has to be spoken. Right, brother? So you come here, you're being a slave queen, you're looking for a what, an 8-figure man as they're putting it these days and whatnot, but you just don't have the basic
Eight.
courtesy to
Nigga,
say,
it was
oh,
6. It's
Six,
8
my
now.
friend. Six figures.
It's
Nah,
six figure,
six.
bro. It's six figure, bro.
One-
What you
6-figure.
talking about? Talking about 8, nigga. Can you sit down,
Oh,
bro?
Niku
Take a
states
back
eight
seat, nigga.
8-figure
Wait,
Niku states.
the
Oh,
parallel
6
is
figure Konse. Konse, wait. Kuno
the
ni
parallel.
5 figure. In fact, Kuno ni 5 figure. In fact,
You
some of
on
these niggas be struck.
The
Kuno ni
parallel
5 figure.
6 figures, 6 feet tall and 6 pack, 666. 8 tapari hapo.
Okay, what is Drake is a what?
Anyway,
7-figure.
huh? No,
Yeah, Drake is
Yeah,
100 mils.
so 150. So
but
7-figure nigga.
ideally they want a 6 figure. That's because the 6 figure is an annual thing, mind you, not
Mm.
a monthly thing.
Yeah.
So
Not
yeah,
not a net worth thing.
Nah, per
no,
annum.
it's an annual thing. Because in the States, when they say how much do you make, and someone says 80,000, it's
That's
more
per
often
year.
than not. That's the annual salary.
Annual income. Yeah.
Yeah, people usually think no, that's the monthly. No, it's different in culture. So it's usually like a yearly thing. So when they say 6 figure man, that means he's ideally making at the very least $100,000 a year, at least. So that's your.
Yeah.
But just taking it back to the initial conversation that we had, where we were talking about how a lot of men were ending up in brothels to have conversations with prostitutes because their wives weren't listening to them, or for the sake of singles, they didn't feel like the women around them, or even the people around them, it doesn't have to be women, weren't necessarily listening to them and just seeking some sort of emotional connection. And also just tying it in with the conversation that we're having about like basic humanity and like simple manners, it just goes to show how important it is to be, at the end of the day, human in all your interactions, and also just common courtesy, you know? Like, I think there's people, way too many people that just aren't courteous. Like Jesse said, you bump into someone. I think I saw this in like Suits, the TV show, or something else, where some dude.
Boondocks, boy.
I think
It was Boondocks. Nigga moment.
there's two
Nigga
types
moment.
of people. There's two types of people. There's sorry I bumped into you, and there's the hey, watch where you're going. There's two types of people. So you have to like know which one you are, and you have to like pick and choose. But ideally, the conversation was to become more of a macho man and be a hey, watch it type nigga. But
Mm.
I like Jesse said, like say you want to die from saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see where I was going," or "I'm sorry, it was my
Yeah.
bad. We had a
Yeah, we were saying that because
misunderstanding."
like
Yeah,
your average chicks today,
yeah.
uh, because of the meme generation and how it's
Ah,
creating all these tuma attitudes and all these
yeah.
tuma quotables that people think are attitudes. It's taking away that basic humanity. You know what I mean? But these are
and
just
even
quotables.
yeah,
These
and
are
even
just
just
tuma memes.
but even just the fact that like a lot of these things are toxic, right? Um,
Yeah.
there's this thing that I see around. It's both a good and a bad thing, depending on the context of it, right? This thing where I can change for a person or a partner, right? I
Mm.
understand what's good. The context, like I said, it depends on the context. If you're a very well behaved human being and everyone around you agrees and just the universe agrees that you're like a very well rounded human being, and someone is trying to bend you to become something that isn't that well rounded human being, then like you should walk away. But if a trash human being and the well-rounded human being decides to like say, no man, like I see beyond this trash and I see a well-rounded human being. And I feel like we can panel beat you to become better. And you start spewing nonsense like, nah, he out here trying to tell me to take responsibility and accountability. Why would I change for a man? Boss, he was trying to encourage you to become a better person.
But you see, that's the
But
thing. I think
yeah.
it's one of the most difficult things is to step outside of yourself and then look at yourself and see a problem as a problem. Most of most the times, toxic
Mm,
traits aren't even identified as toxic traits because you find most people have probably grown up in these environments. You know what I mean,
mm,
and have grown
mm.
up. So, like, if
Preach.
that's what you are familiar with, if that's what you're
Mm,
familiar with seeing, if that's all you've consumed, especially like think of it, think of a kid growing up in this generation where it's like there's certain things that like these memes are creating and normalizing a lot of things. Let's
right.
normalize this. Let's normalize what? Let's normalize this.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So they've
mm,
created subcultures that
mm,
make certain things and certain behaviors just look normal, right? So by the time a kid is like, by the time a chick is, let's say, 19,
mm,
she's got these attitudes that to her and to her community look normal. And then when
mm,
she's taken out of that community, let's say she turns 16 or something and goes to
mm,
college, because that's the point at which you start to interact with people who come from like different communities,
Different
different whatnot,
backgrounds, yeah.
yeah.
different backgrounds. Yeah. And so now you meet someone who's come from a background that I can say is culturally rooted or is more culturally cemented, right? And this person has not necessarily entertained the thoughts and ideas that come with social media and whatnot. Maybe they got their first phone when they were like when they were done with school. This other kid
Mm,
has had their phone since they were 8 because kids are being given phones like super early. You know what I mean?
mm,
So the attitudes possibly can be different and possibly have been shaped differently. You know what I mean? So when this person
mm,
comes to point out to say, yo, that's not nice. This
mm,
person who is being told, yo, that's not nice, can easily say, yo, who the heck do you think you are telling me that's not nice? I know it's not nice. And it's definitely
mm,
not this attitude that I have. And now think about it. This person in their mind is justified.
mm,
You know what I mean, right? And they've
mhm,
got all the reason to why, because this is the first time that they're coming into contact with someone who's pointing it out and saying, yo, dude, that's wrong. Quite right. They might have had like an encounter with it in the past, but when it's all you've known,
mm,
there's I can understand why the reasoning behind a lot of this thinking has got like a what I can call a solid negative backing. You know what I mean? So you're actually dealing with like stronger negative attitudes. And like I was saying, the more that you enter the dating pool these days and whatnot, I feel for the young men, your generation, you guys.
Jesse, real
Yeah,
quick, I
I
wanted to
never
say
thought I
something.
would say this. Yeah.
In all this, like that one young lady you were describing,
Mm.
where were her older siblings or her parents to check her attitude?
But
mm.
What's
and
going
so here's the
how
I was
she
thing,
gonna,
not
right?
I,
getting
I was gonna
university?
give a scenario. I was gonna give a scenario. Funny thing is, I was actually gonna step in with like a scenario
Mm,
um, that like that I encountered, rather not experienced, but encountered. So there's this dude, right?
mm,
That I really, really like. If you talk to him, like in certain context, really chill dude. Knew him back in college. So I decided to like start getting to know him and start talking to him and whatnot, and start like finding out about him because I don't know. That's just the thing I like doing. I like knowing about people and stuff. So um, this dude starts telling me about how like he grew up in this environment where um his dad beating up his mom was like a super normal thing. Like it was hella normal, bro. You know, that's something that he was like exposed to a lot. Um, and his like it ended there. Like I had that conversation with him, and then like some time later, I ended up meeting up with his young sister, and then had a conversation, and then she told me. that no, this on used to like beat me up a lot because when he saw because you know that thing where like she's the last born and he's the firstborn. So when she gets in trouble for something, they're not going to beat her, they'll beat him. So when the parents were like not watching, he would go and beat like her up. And not like beating like normal, like regular beating, like a few slaps here and
No,
there.
like an ass
Like he
whooping.
was like a fist fight, like this is two guys about to like duke it out. Like she was telling me like that. That's how um like they used to fight. There was a time when they went to like boarding school together, and like she was like tomboyish, so like he would be hanging out with his friends, and then she would go and like hang out with them and stuff, because like she found like their company more fun than like her friends, not like because boys or anything, just like genuine company. um and then one of her elder brother's friends would be like, I say your sister is nice, man, she's really pretty. And when everyone dips, like he would take, like this is at boarding school, by the way, he would take her to like a secluded spot, then beat her up, like proper fist fights and whatnot. And this is how like their relationship was, like
Like
whenever like
she would also just take the beating, or she would swing.
she would also take the beating. Like she wouldn't retaliate because she would be scared. Because the
Bro,
one time that she did try to like retaliate, like she just got beaten up even more. You know what I mean?
tough,
So
bro.
so
Yeah.
now,
Yep.
given this upbringing, right? When she
Hmm.
told me that this dude like sometimes like goes ham on like his own partner, like I was like, I'm not shocked. In his head,
This makes
because of
sense.
conditioning, it's normal. Like he used to see his dad, like beating up his queen, and then at the same time, next thing they know, they're out for dinner. Mom is like cleaning up his room. His mom is, taking care of everything. They're all smiling. They all look happy. But at the same time, both the old man's kids have met the Tumashuga babies that you know the Bali has. So
Bro,
like
he's a
all
cow.
of
Say,
this, yeah,
taking your wife to a secluded place to wire her, then coming out like nothing cut. Some cow
except,
shit.
but see now, when you now meet up someone, see, this is how now you find guys who beat up their partners, and they don't see anything wrong with that. That's how you find them. Like it's like, bro, like I'm just like disciplining her. Like in his head, that's all he's doing. Him is like, no, she talked back. She
Yeah.
deserved it. Why did she talk back? It's not necessarily that there wasn't people to say no. It wasn't necessarily like the people who said no weren't enough. It's that because there wasn't any external influence to tell you this is wrong, this is not how you live life. You know what I mean? Maybe there might have been movies or church or whatever, like stuff like that, or books and podcasts and whatever. But if the people that you hold in the
That's
highest
not
of esteem,
exactly.
your
You can't
parents,
say it.
yeah. So like if you hold your parents, hold them in the highest esteem, except who are you going to listen to? Your dad,
Yeah.
the person who
And
raised
that's
you,
why it goes back to that thing that I was saying. Like for someone to be able to stand outside of themselves, like to have that outer body experience and
Mm,
actually identify to say this is wrong, that's like the most difficult thing. Because sometimes, no matter how many people have told you to say, dude, this and this is not right, this and this is not right, at the end of the day, it's about having that self-evaluation, right? Where you
mhm,
actually can identify outside of yourself to say, yo, this is pretty messed up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Now, and even down to that, it's like, even when you do that, it comes down to those three fundamentals: the I love you, I'm sorry, and thank you. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like those are very much at play within yourself.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And for you to get there, for you to get to that point,
It is very
without
difficult.
I can only imagine, bro. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
because
it's
you have to put into consideration the amount of mental conditioning, which is why I think on our last what do you call that thing, clubhouse meeting, when we were talking about what I think it was Shadow, I think, who pointed it out. He was like, no, some men are like this, some men. I'm like, bro, it's not everyone who's like that. It's based on the conditioning that you were exposed to. Not everyone has the same type of parent. So not everyone is going to be raised the same, because there are
very
those
true.
kids
Very
who
true.
right off the bat, when you invite them to your house, they're able to start jumping on the chairs. You, when you go to their place, man, no matter what,
We
because
don't
of
do
the way
that here.
Yeah,
you're just hearing your mom say they slap,
yeah.
even holding your cheek.
But also some personalities pick these things
Yeah.
up. Like I noticed when we got to college,
Mm.
some dudes picked up these attitudes and behaviors in college. You find a guy,
Mm.
you know him from back home in Kitwe, different person, would never hit a woman. He gets to college, he's around guys who are hitting their girlfriends. He picks it up, and I'm just like, dude, this is definitely not you. You know what I mean? This is definitely
Some
not
people.
you. What has made you switch up here? But and that's the thing, you know what I mean? Testosterone,
Mm.
wanting to be part of the pack,
Yeah.
the need to be accepted,
Hey,
fragile
you brought me to
ego,
the you brought me to that
insecurity,
thing that I like saying in
inferiority
the group
complex.
say. I dare you brought me back to that thing that I like saying in the group say. More often than not, men want approval from other men, not women.
Yeah,
Say
not
when
even
your
women.
From other men.
when your boys tell you you're their man, it slaps
Yeah,
different. Say your girl telling
yeah,
you you're the man, you're just trying to encourage me, get out. But when
yeah.
all your boys acknowledge you and say you're the man, you're the door. In fact, all of us bow to you. Mana.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm sure you experience enough dudes who are doing a lot of ego lifting in the gym.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
happens all
yeah,
the time.
where they really just
yeah.
want approval, right?
They want the next guy to okay whatever it is they're doing.
It says
Mhm.
masculine approval.
Exactly.
Take it from me, who lost my dad when I was a child, man. When I was 9, masculine
Mm.
approval is such a drug, boy.
It's potent,
So
man.
now I'm in
I can
my early
relate. It's
teens.
potent.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro.
I lost my
Same.
dad when I was 9. I'm 12 years old, and you just fall in love with this big brother figure, say, in the hood, and
Hmm.
he ain't shit. He's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But ah, his approval
He's the
means so
guy.
much to you. I remember this one time, bro. We were in the hood near Woodlands, and there was
That's a
like a
powerful
bunch of
topic you
girls.
guys have started, eh?
Yeah.
Because think about it. How many people go astray because the dad didn't do the right thing?
It's wild. For me,
Wambi.
my dad did his thing so well. My dad used to tell me he loved me, except rare shit, especially in our culture. It's
Mm.
unfortunate I
Yeah.
lost him. But you see, now I remember this one time I was hanging out with these older dudes I looked up to. We were by Woodlands area, and there was a bunch of girls from St. Mary's coming from school. And when we passed, I was your belly dapper, big t-shirts and what. When we passed, they laughed, they giggled, but I couldn't tell if they were giggling at me or if they were just having their own story. And these guys are right here, and I have to impress them. Bro, I cussed these girls out so hard.
Mama.
These fell in love with me. This gangster is hard. The guy,
Bro.
the whole St. Mary's,
Bro,
except,
that. Uh-huh.
bro, everywhere we went, except this gangster insulted the whole St. Mary's. Bruh, I was so happy, boy, so happy. No,
Mm.
no, my mother could tell me, you're the man, I wouldn't listen. My sister could tell me, you're the man, I wouldn't listen. They never did, but even if I heard it from them, it
Mm.
Mm.
wouldn't have competed, except with the approval I was receiving from these dudes. And it
This
changed
case,
them.
but
It
those
changed
girls
them.
have to bring this case up when you're a superstar. He's a
Ah,
monster.
Mm.
Why
He's a
come on?
monster.
Why
Cancel Magnifier music
Cancel
because he
Magnify.
cussed us out when he was an immature teenager. Bruh,
Cast out
like
a whole
yeah,
school,
it's like
a whole girls' school.
the nuns from Saint Mary's would like to present their testimony. Yes, he was such a menace to the entire.
But
I
yeah,
didn't say
I was
it like
so
that.
Like, as someone who grew up like with like my unlike fire. My dad never used to tell me, "Oh, I love you, son. Oh my gosh, I love you." That my dad was too much for that, I guess.
I'm still waiting on that nigga.
Yeah, man.
I love you. Captain.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I don't know if I can talk about this. Can I talk about this? I think I can talk about this. Like for
Let's go.
me, I think.
No, I was about to say, don't make us cry, but then I remembered I'll be hit by those the feminist niggas, the ones who, if you can't let men cry, then fuck you. Okay, so you know what?
Yeah, man. I don't know, but like I noticed I noticed this I think last year, I think around about last year, but like it only became like prominent to me like this year. That's when I like I noticed it last year, but this year I was like, yeah, no, this is bad. I need to fix this. Like I noticed that I became quite impressionable. Like it's weird, but like if I notice like a masculine figure, because for me I'm like like for instance my young sisters, um if they meet like a masculine figure, like one of my uncles, they'll be like, "Oh, daddy," me, I'm like, nigga, I ain't calling you daddy for shit. Don't even look at me like that, bro. But like for
feeling
some
like telling
weird
your uncle
reason.
what you going.
No,
Yeah.
that Uncle Daliso, if you're listening to this, bro, you know we homies though, right? Yeah, but like for me, like one thing I noticed is that like if I notice like a masculine figure that I respect, like it's very subconscious, but at some point in time I'll just notice it's either how they live their life or a thing they say or like a pattern of speech, but it's just I'm just going to start saying it, Dixie. Like it's just weird. It doesn't have to be like a grown man. It can be like a big brother figure, Dixie. And I had to sit down. I was like, why do I like pick up on other people's habits very easily? Like that's just weird. And then like I just started like having like this internal like just like looking within myself, and I noticed it's linked to that the desire for approval. Like it's it makes you like my desire for approval like left me with this thing where like I end up like picking up on things that other people do and then starting to do them because I'm just like trying to feel either accepted or just like recognized. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think easy example I can give, don't feel yourself, like say, is there's this thing that Jesse does when he's talking. So he'll be like something, 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 as far as ABCD is concerned. Shan 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 shani.
Oh, I've heard him
As
say
far as
that.
this is concerned. I didn't notice until December that I say that a lot, Exe. And I was like,
I
where
made
did I get
you.
it from?
I made
And
you.
then I heard Jesse saying it a span, and I'm like, Jesse says this. And then I was talking to experts one time, and then I just noticed myself saying, except why shka? Why shwaka? Why shwaka? I'm like, where did that come from? Then I just remembered, Fire says this a lot. Fire energy. I'm just like, So, except I feel like a lack of masculine approval, especially from your father, and acknowledgement takes it because approval because like being seen and is one thing, but takes it when someone acknowledges you, that's
Yeah. But
Unto.
you know what's real about what you've
Mm,
said? I feel
mm,
like the whole nation is an impressionable nation.
That's a culture, man.
It's a yes, we've got,
That is
and
our
it's a
culture.
problem for us, especially as Zambians, because since we have an erased history, our future is now being dictated by our future as far as like what we are putting out is concerned. And I'm talking about like in a lot of spheres. If you notice a lot of the copycat vibe that we have going on, you know what I mean? The lack of originality that we have going on in a lot of fields. It stems from that. It stems from the need for approval. You know what I mean? What's the goal? Like even right now, with whatever it is, with a lot of things that we do, usually the target is if it can just pop on the outside. You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of it is justified because you're like, then it pops internally, and then what? What appreciation am I going to get from doing it for my people? My people won't even appreciate it like that. You know what I mean? If anything, they'll shoot it down. So you know what I mean? Like we and that's why I'm saying all these too much subcultures that are coming up. It's a lot of impressionable youth. Whatever we do, all these TikTok is probably the worst because it has just brought like a whole new wave of that. Well, the majority of what we do, or the majority of what is being done on our TikToks and whatnot,
You
it's
have
really
1 minute to gain approval from Zingatiuko people.
Yeah, but and have you seen a lot of the videos and the trends, external trends that we then try to sort of remodel and reshape to where we are, you know what I mean? But how many of our trends start here? It's a Zambian trend, it's a local trend, and it goes on TikTok and then it goes viral as just that. You know what I mean? That's why I really liked like when the African Waist Challenge went viral and it was actually just Afunika's song. You know what I mean? I felt that's what I mean by like us now being the ones creating an impression on the world. You know what I mean? But otherwise, like you've said, it comes back to us. It's like a lot, if not every, the whole joint is very impressionable. It's easy for, and there are stronger cultures, I feel, that easily create impressions, and others like Jamaican culture. Who doesn't want to talk like a Jamaican? Who doesn't want to
Nigerian
you know what I
culture?
mean?
Jamaicans are the most influential cultural,
You know what I mean?
social cultural group on earth,
Yes.
guys.
Jamaicans,
Nigerian
Nigerians,
culture
America
as
is
well.
probably number one.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then
But then
you've got
they
your Jamaicans, you've got
so
your
Wait, Nigel,
So
you said something?
I said, but then again, they own media, so it's easy for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Americans, eh?
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah.
No, because
I feel
think
that's
about
their
it.
main export.
Like, what's the fancy kids accent in Z? How do you know that someone used to watch DSTV on Facebook? An American
Ooh,
accent.
that
A
annoying accent.
confused American accent.
That Disney accent. Oh man.
That Disney Channel accent, bro.
It's
Yeah.
so annoying.
That's cool accent, bro.
But Nigel, I wanted to ask you, like,
What up?
for you, did your your weightlifting journey? I've never really asked you like how that began. Has ego ever influenced that? Has
Ooh, I have a story for
self-esteem
you.
ever played a role in that? You know what I mean?
Okay, so what happened was, I think I was 15 at the time, and there's this girl in school. I'm not going to say her name, but
For
I
the record,
really liked her.
for the record, just in case people don't know, Nigel's like
Jesse,
super
don't
buff
do
and
this.
super handsome. No, Nigel's super buff and super handsome, and Cherry has a crush on him, and he has a crush on Cherry, but they don't talk about it. So like, I've hooked them up in my head, but you can continue the story.
Wow. Anyway, so putting me on blast. Okay, so high school, there's this girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but I had a mad crush on her. I was in love. I won't lie. I was in love. So I remember this is Valentine's Day, and you know, Mans wasn't doing so well financially, but I'm like, let me get this girl a rose. and she'd gotten like maybe 50 roses that day. But I'm like, nah, man, this single rose. So I give her the rose. I'm like, yo, man, I like you. No, let me not pretend like I had game. It was terrible. I was just fumbling over myself. I'm like, I like you. So yeah, do you want to be my Valentine? You want to date? And she's just like, nah, man, I just got out of a relationship. I'm not feeling you like that.
Yeah, we're
So
15.
I was 15 at the time. And right after that, my reflex reaction was, I'm going to get buff. I'm going to show this girl.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Now we're like really good friends, and it's a funny story we talk about. But that's
No,
how I got started.
that was the reasoning. It was just like it was that straightforward.
That's straightforward, man. And then after lifting for like 2 weeks, I
Yeah.
completely forgot about why I started because gains,
Uh-huh.
and I was just in love. I was just like, you know what, this is what I do.
Serious, eh?
Yeah,
And you've never looked back since then. Like
never look back.
it's just
It's now a part. Nah, dude, it's a part of me. I can't get through a day and
no for
feel
you,
normal.
yeah, definitely. Like I'm just thinking, in my mind, I'm like, no, there's probably a story like then I started, and then I got lazy, but then
Nah, actually, right after that, it pretty much intensified. I was going like 600 push-ups a day, flexing. See, I was doing like 600 push-ups a day, a couple hundred
talk your
pull-ups,
shit.
a couple hundred curls, and then I think 21, no, 19, 19. I was like, I'm going to the gym. I'm starting gym. This is my
Yeah,
thing. Joined the gym at 19. At 20, actually, no, I was still 19. Just before I turned 20, I started working in the gym.
yeah.
Yeah, so there
So
is
it's
no
never been,
self-esteem
it's
story.
never really ego has it. Do you feel it's ever contributed to your ego boost
Um,
since then?
it
Do
was
you
a
ever have moments where like you're
funny
not, let's say you
enough,
get ill and you've been away from the gym, and you just feel like, oh man, I'm probably
funny
looking
this
scrawny.
this gym thing took me on a weird journey because
Uh-huh.
um the self-esteem boost didn't come from being buff. It came from because I was working in the service industry, right? And I'd interact with people, and because when you work in a gym, people put you in higher esteem than you actually are because they don't know anything about the gym. So people walk
Yeah.
in and give you all the authority, like mad levels,
Ah,
like people in their 60s treating you with sir, they're giving you that vibe. I'm like,
yeah,
what? Okay. So that's where all that
yeah.
came from. So it,
Ah,
it never came from the looks. It was more of a being given respect from
yeah,
people, who are much older. And then
yeah.
so I started to notice, I'm like, wait, no, there's an advantage to being jacked. People treat you different. But
Word.
that actually came after I didn't go through a self-esteem phase. It came after I was already kind of knew who I
Yeah,
was at the time as an early
yeah.
20-year-old. I didn't really know who I was, but I kind of, I was more cemented in my thought. And then after COVID, this is like years later, and I stopped working
Yeah.
out for about a year and a half, and I lost all my gains. I kind of already knew,
Uh-huh.
it's not all in the looks, and I wasn't insecure about being skinny. Yeah, I mean, I don't like having lost gains, but it's never
Yeah.
been an issue to lose size. Yes, you notice people don't treat you the same way, but your mind kind of
Mhm.
already knows who you are in a sense.
Yeah.
So
Word.
you don't find yourself going, yeah, if I was jacked, I would have, you know.
Yeah.
I know people treat you different, but it doesn't the difference in the way people treat you when they meet you. You notice it, but it doesn't bother me as much as it would have had I not been given
Word.
validation for just being a human being or being in a position of authority from, clients and the rest of it.
That's true. I think that's pretty dope. Like, because I can imagine how, like we were saying, enough dudes is like an ego boost. I think for me, the time when I started gymming consistent, I really just wanted to see what my body would look like, jacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I got there, and I was like, oh, and for me, it did play like a huge role as far as like my confidence, because I then noticed, I was more free as far as like certain shirts that I could now wear is concerned. I've always
yeah,
hated my arms. You know what I mean? So simple things like that, like being able to wear my t-shirts or being able to walk around shirtless, you know what I mean? Because I've always been that guy, like from childhood,
Yeah.
if you're that kid who's always just running around the yard with boxers and no shirt, usually as guys, like it takes a lot for a guy to change. That
Oh
is a
yeah.
personality. That's usually a personality, and the guy usually wants to carry that. But until you get to a point where like you start to feel, and I don't even know where the insecurity comes from. You start to feel insecure about your arms. You start to feel insecure
Usually
about
comes
this,
from other
that, that.
people. For me, when I
Mhm.
wasn't secure in high school, it came from someone. I remember exactly what they said to me and what I was doing. It was
Mm,
it was time to. I think we were about to swim. Yeah, we were about to swim, and funny enough, I just started doing push-ups and pull-ups.
yeah,
So I thought I was looking jacked, but apparently not. So this guy,
yeah.
and I'm gonna call him out, Ivan. He shouts out across the swimming
Uh,
classroom so everyone can hear. And he goes, Nigel, nice ribs. And I'm just like,
oh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Screw you, Ivan. I
Uh,
remember I was stood next to this girl I was vibing with. So that conversation ended real quick.
oh no.
Yeah.
It's the same Ivan in Australia. Is he back here?
No, it's not that Ivan. Different Ivan.
Or not that? Ah, okay, okay, cool. Ish.
No last name.
Huh?
No last names.
No last name. No, no, good,
Yeah.
good, good. Yeah, just
Yeah,
trying to
for sure.
keep a podcast afloat, bro. Uh, but yeah, so you see, like even that, just like one statement, and I can't remember for the life of me what statement made me start to hide my arms, but like for me, that was always like the biggest thing, and even up to now, like, well, now I'm a little chubby, so put on weight, so like I'm okay, but I still have that thing in me where like I want to get my dumbbells back and then just start working on my arms just for the sake of working on my arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So ego, confidence, all those things, bro. Like as a man, you gotta keep them in check. You know what I mean? I
Oh
feel
yeah.
those are make or breaks.
Those are make
But
or breaks. Yo.
yeah, we've done an hour 30 on the Shock the Clock podcast.
Mm.
Uh, we've talked everything, man. Porn, um, weight gain and weight loss, I think, and ego. And, you know, that's what we do. We talk. Next time, hopefully, we'll be mixing it up because Lumba has just revealed that he's a mixologist. We all didn't know. I know Nigel's a mixologist.
One
Lumba
time.
is disappointed with me for not knowing that he's a mixologist. How was I supposed to know? We've never even been in a mixing situation. Hmm?
That's your problem. That's your
Hey,
problem.
dog. Anyway, uh, yeah, no, we've got a lot more coming. This Nigel, this is the first of many. I know.
Of course.
Thanks for thanks for
Yeah,
being with
Thanks,
us.
having Nigel on was really dope, by the way. Should
Oh,
It's,
you
he's,
think so?
he's a
Yeah,
really
man, you
cool
should
guy.
definitely
I'm
become a regular,
blushing.
bro.
Nigel has to
Will
be a
do.
regular.
Will
Nigel
do.
has to be a regular. Yeah, especially once we figure out our network even better. We start getting even
Switch to
clearer and clearer.
Airtel.
Ah,
Fact.
the problem with people on Airtel complain about Airtel.
I'm on Airtel.
See,
Solid
I'm on
network.
Airtel and I don't complain. It's just today when like they performed
Hmm.
and they only performed once.
Hey, hello,
The whole
today has been the day. You know what I mean? For you,
yeah,
it's just yeah.
but for you it's on empty and it's almost every time.
However, I've never complained about it.
No, but like every
I'll tell
time
you
we're
what I
having a
complain
podcast.
about.
Okay, but like every time we're having a podcast, who's the one who's had like consistently the least the problems?
This has been Shock the Clock podcast. Thanks for thanks for thanks to all the listeners, y'all. This is I don't know what number this episode is. Yo, these homies, they peace. Yo.